Welcome back to Horror Movies.
Today, I will be showing you an Australian comedy horror thriller film from 2019 titled Little Monsters. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins as we see a man named Dave arguing with his girlfriend Sarah. Dave is a flop music artist who has a nasty habit of talking filthy words. The couple seems to be going through a rough time and later on, they give up on each other. Dave was sharing the apartment with Sarah, but after the breakup, he doesn't own a place to live in. Thus, he goes to live with his sister Tess, who is a single mother of a little boy named Felix. In the next scene, Dave wakes up to find Felix standing in front of him with a toy tractor. The duo talk for a while, and in the meantime, a TV program informs that a child entertainer named Teddy McGiggle is on a tour of Australia. Later, instead of letting Felix watch cartoons, Dave makes him play a zombie shooting game. However, Tess arrives and interrupts Felix from playing it. While having their dinner, Tess notifies Dave that Felix is allergic to dairy products and that cheese puts his life in danger. As they talk about life, Dave reveals that his girlfriend wanted to have a child and it is the reason for their dispute. Later, when Tess is telling a bed story about love to Felix, Dave hears them from outside and regrets leaving Sarah. Lamenting about his misdeeds, Dave thinks of patching up with Sarah and marrying her. To accomplish his plan, he wakes Felix from his sleep, puts him in a Darth Vader costume and takes him to Sarah's apartment. Felix holds a "Will you marry me" proposal written on a pizza box while he opens the door. But to their misfortune, they find Sarah making love with a real estate agent named Rory on a sofa. Witnessing such a heartbreaking situation, Dave gets furious and starts fighting with Rory. However, Rory quickly overpowers him and breaks his nose. After the altercation, Dave leaves with his bong. Back inside the house, Tess is waiting for the two. As soon as they arrive, she scolds Dave for showing irresponsible behavior by taking Felix out at night. In a fit of rage, she orders him to leave the house immediately. Hearing such unloving words from his sister, Dave starts crying like a child. Seeing this, Felix pleads with his mother to let his uncle stay, and she finally agrees, but only on the condition that Dave has to help with the house chores. The next morning, Dave takes Felix to his school. While leaving Felix at his classroom, Dave spots Miss Caroline and gets instantly smitten by her. He then tries to engage in small talk to impress her, but ends up making the situation awkward. Later, when the classes are over, Dave goes to pick Felix up. When he reaches there, he finds out about a field trip for the next day. Sensing the opportunity to get closer to Caroline, he immediately agrees to volunteer with her to take the kids on the field trip. In the evening, Tess trains Dave on how to use the EpiPen, so that he can help Felix in case of any complications. The next day, everyone including Dave goes for the field trip, but the bus tire gets punctured on the way. As the driver gets busy fixing the tire, Caroline and the children sing a song in unison inside the bus, but Dave seems to be bored. After the song is over, everyone requests Dave to sing and he agrees. Boasting about his band and his profession, he starts singing a rock song in a rough tune. He sings so terribly that Caroline and all the children cover their ears with their hands. Caroline cannot withstand his song any further and thus pulls out the guitar plug before he completes his song. Right then, the driver fixes the wheels and they continue their way to Pleasant Valley Farm for the trip. In the next scene, it is revealed that there is a US military testing facility near the farm. The site is a test center for research about zombies called Project Regeneration. Inside the facility, two officers are inspecting the different sectors as per routine. While going through, they find that a test subject has escaped and eliminated a nurse in Section 24. Worried about the situation, the officers immediately shoot the zombie and terminate him. Hurriedly, they try to inform the authorities, but instead, they get to know that there is a large-scale breach in Section 25. Hearing the notice, the lady officer quickly goes to secure the door, whereas her male colleague stays behind. Unfortunately, he is attacked by the infected nurse. After this, the facility turns on the alarms for Code Red. Elsewhere, Dave seems concerned to see the military vehicle passing by in a hurry. After the bus reaches the Pleasant Valley Farm, Caroline helps all the kids get down and warns them of safety measures. Just then, the kids discover that Teddy McGiggle is at the same farm. They are elated to see him, and start dancing with him. As soon as Teddy notices Caroline, he also starts liking her and asks her to go to the front. Looking at Teddy trying to flirt with Caroline, Dave becomes angry out of jealousy. Later, everyone is having a fun time. They dance around and play with animals, but Dave continues to make a mockery out of him with his unusual antics. Back in the testing facility, everyone has been infected and turned into zombies. The situation is out of control and the zombies come out of the facility and start marching towards the Pleasant Valley Farm. In the farm, a zombie attacks a tourist while he is trying to take a photo with it. Horrified by the incident, everyone flees away in panic. Inside the garden, Dave feels broken when he finds out that Caroline is engaged to a guy named Ian. The school group then goes on a tractor ride around the farm's perimeter. After riding for some time, the tractor driver named Kimby notices a zombie feeding on a sheep on the roadside. She stops the tractor and goes to check on it. Just as Caroline is warning Dave for his use of bad words in front of the kids, the zombie knocks Kimby down. Caroline freaks out to see Kimby getting devoured by a zombie. Distracted, the zombie turns to Caroline, but she quickly manages to stab it with a spade fork and stick it on a tree. In the meantime, Felix teaches Dave on how to drive a tractor and everybody gets away from the place unharmed. When Dave and the school group reach the farm, they find that everyone has been turned into zombies. Caroline keeps the children calm by telling them that everything is part of a game. She then takes the children towards the cottage in a single line, avoiding the zombies on the way. After finally reaching the cottage, they find that the door is locked from the inside by Teddy. They request Teddy to open the door, but he denies it. Fortunately, Caroline notices a wormhole and quickly instructs the children to crawl through it. She then gets inside, but Dave is trapped, with the zombies closing on him. Just as he is about to get eliminated, Dave climbs up and busts inside the cottage from the roof. As soon as Dave falls down to the floor, an enraged Teddy starts punching him. After an intense fight with him, Dave finally subdues Teddy and opens the door, letting everyone inside. Later inside the cottage, Caroline makes the children busy while Dave tries searching for a cellular network. They are stranded inside a small hut surrounded by a zombie army. Teddy tries to scare the children by talking about the zombies, but Caroline doesn't allow him to do so. Instead, she threatens him to tell that the zombies aren't real by stabbing him with a piece of ceramic. After this, Dave distributes chips to everyone. The children are happy and everything seems to be going well. Suddenly, Felix starts to choke and runs out of breath because the chips contained milk in it. Dave fetches Felix's medicine to inject him but wastes it by injecting himself. With time running out, Dave informs Caroline that the spare EpiPen is in Felix's backpack, but the problem is that the backpack is in the tractor outside. Despite the circumstances, Caroline volunteers to venture out. She heroically beheads several zombies with a shovel and finally retrieves the EpiPen. After she gets inside, she immediately injects the medicine and Felix finally breathes a sigh of relief. Because of this, Dave starts liking Caroline even more. While everyone is cheering in joy, Teddy hears the sound of a helicopter and quickly goes to the roof to ask for help. But while doing so, he falls off the roof to the ground with zombies everywhere. They begin to circle Teddy and try catching him, but suddenly, Dave extends a hand and pulls him up to the roof. Crying with regrets, Teddy apologizes to Dave for his misbehavior. He then reveals that his real name is Nathan Snyder. Elsewhere, inside an army camp, an officer informs his senior that all the infected zombies are concentrated in the Pleasant Valley farm. To eradicate all the zombies at once, the officer suggests blowing off the place by bombing from above. Back inside the cottage, Caroline sings a song for the hungry children and makes them sleep. Outside the army barricade, Tess is arguing with the army officers for letting the parents visit their children. She tries contacting Dave, but his number is unreachable. Inside the cottage, all children go to bed except for Felix and his girlfriend Beth. While singing a bed rhyme with Felix and Beth, Dave connects with the little kids and starts liking them. After all the kids are asleep, Dave and Caroline take the free time to discuss their past histories and relationships. Dave informs Caroline that his father had left their family to settle elsewhere. Since then, his sister Tess looked after and raised him up. Caroline also expresses how she ended up in Australia. They talk for a while and Caroline goes to sleep while Dave stays awake as a lookout for the group. The next morning, the soldiers come up with a plan to bomb the area and name it Operation Hailstorm. The senior officer orders the authorities to drop the bomb in an hour. Inside the cottage, Dave informs Caroline and Teddy of the plan about getting out from the place using a tractor, but Teddy offers to use his car MC Giggle Mobile instead. After they all agree, Dave creates a distraction while Teddy goes towards his car. Hurriedly, Teddy gets inside and locks the door but does not let Dave in. Teddy exhibits his selfishness again, but to his misfortune, Frogsy the Frog, who is now turned into a zombie, creeps up from behind and eliminates him. Surrounded by zombies everywhere, Dave climbs on top of Teddy's car. Suddenly, his phone starts to ring and finds it's Tess calling. He picks up the call and expresses his love for her. While he's apologizing for his wrongdoings, his phone falls down. Desperate about the situation, the little kids start troubling Caroline. Suddenly, she notices that Felix is missing. It turns out that Felix has put on a Darth Vader costume in order to rescue Dave from the zombies. The brave kid evades the zombies and manages to get to the tractor and drive it. He then picks up Dave, who was on the verge of being eliminated. The duo then busts into the cottage and rescues everyone inside. The zombies follow the tractor, but they are easily outrun. On their way back, Caroline sings for the group and discovers that the zombies respond to the music. A few hundred meters away, the US military has set up a fort to eliminate the incoming zombies. The senior officer looks through the binoculars and observes Dave and Caroline in a tractor followed by an army of zombies incoming at a distance. However, he doesn't notice the children, so he orders his men to take position and eliminate everyone. Suddenly, a soldier hears the group singing and the officer immediately orders everyone to hold fire. The soldiers let the tractor pass, and as soon as the school group is safe, they open fire and eliminate all zombies. After this, the military blows the Pleasant Valley farm into ashes. The military then takes the group to quarantine, where they have to spend the next 48 hours. In the final scene, everyone is happily singing the song Shake It Off, inside the isolation center, while the parents watch them from outside. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.